You done lost your damn mind. When you get your damn mind, you call me.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know this beats, your girl KylerB coming at you for a new video. So today we're going to be talking about Love Island Beyond the Villa, Season 1, Episode 5. So let's get right into the video because a lot has transpired since my last video on this show. This show in itself, before, everything that's transpired outside of this show, it was already kind of like lagging in, like, do we even want to continue watching this because it's kind of like not giving, to be honest. But as we all know, JaNa and Kenny has broken up, and we found out later on the reason why they broke up, because basically Kenny has not been, transparent, real at all with his relationship with JaNa. So basically a year of that relationship was basically a fake relationship, essentially, on Kenny's side. It came out that, Kenny had like a text message situation. Basically it was, inferred by JaNa, because obviously, JaNa posted her, thing like, what all the theories that you guys have about this breakup, it's even worse than it actually is. So then Kenny posted like a, breakup thing, and it was basically like giving like, oh, him and JaNa broke up, and it was kind of like, on good terms, like it was basically an amicable breakup. But it was just like, no, if JaNa's saying basically that what he's did is worse than what the theories were, and the theories were very kind of bad, why are you phrasing your breakup to JaNa as like, oh, we just went our separate ways? Like, no, it's not giving, oh, we just went our separate ways or things didn't align. No, it's giving you did something that was very rude, disrespectful, disgusting, all of that. So came to find out that he had a text message, group chat, whatever, with his friends, and he's basically like, talking trash about JaNa. Obviously, he was just ready to be over with this situation, things like that, things of that nature. He didn't really like JaNa, and whatnot. So yeah, so basically now that he got aired out, and obviously, we got Serena and Leah co-signing that he was basically being racist to JaNa, so, and all that, and this, that, and the third. So it's kind of very shocking, because just like, you think like, oh, he was really about JaNa, he was really about her, da 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 da, and just like, no, he was just putting on this facade, veneer. Very crazy work for an entire year, which is very crazy. Like, it was like, was there any real feelings at all on his side to her? But we will never know that. I mean, unless he really wants to say his piece, but I don't even think anybody would care at this point, because it's just like, you really wasted this girl's year of her life, and you're kikiing in a group chat with your friends about things like that. So moving on to this episode, because like watching this episode after all that transpires, kind of just like, do you even want to continue watching a show that's basically supposed to be like, kind of centered around PPG and the relationships, when one of the relationships kind of like crashed and burned? Yeah, it's just like, do we even want to continue? But while it's still airing for a time being, on episode 5, basically we have Leah basically, worrying about her skin situation, seeing like if it's like any type of, the big C. And, she's going to these doctors and whatnot, and a bit worried about that situation. We have KylerB at that time and point, she's going through family situations for her grandmother, but then she's like also trying to like be friends with Aaron. Aaron's just trying to like, live nonchalantly, basically, he just here for, basically the check for the being on the show, really, and just hang out with Connor. But, while he's trying to still be there for KylerB, because I feel like he thinks all the social media situation aspect of that is kind of like, overrated. Like, he does not want any part of that situation. He just kind of wanted to just like live peacefully. When KylerB told him about the situation, they came to a meet out or hangout, she tried to hug him, and he thinks that she tried to kiss him. But I don't know, she's like, no, she didn't try to kiss him, blah, blah, blah. But then KylerB ends up having this new guy named Torin. Basically, he does look like a little bit like Aaron. Like, he does look like Aaron. Like, I don't know what KylerB is saying, but he does look like Aaron, with like same blue eyes, blonde hair, basically same kind of haircut what Aaron had when he was in the villa. So yeah, he does look like Aaron. Anyway, he came to Kendall's birthday situation, and like, you know, she was like kind of all over on Torrin, basically like kind of paid Aaron dust, and like Aaron kind of got heated about that. He's just like, well, if roles were reversed and it was me bringing a girl and kind of like paid you dust after we just, you know, saw each other a couple days ago or a day ago, whatever, and you try to kiss me or whatever, like we would think that it was weird or whatever, something like that. So they had like a, you know, he kind of like was annoyed about the situation. Like, I, you know, seeing him talk to her and he was smoking a cigarette, I'm like, oh, the rumors were true that, you know, a few people during season 6 were actually smoking cigarettes, because, you know, when that came out, like, people were really puffing and passing in the villa. I was like, who's puffing and passing? But yeah, when I saw him with that cigarette, I was like, oh, like he was stressed talking to KylerB. So he basically kind of had that back and forth with KylerB, but then like at the end of the day, he's just like, you know, since she's still going through her family situation, he wants to be there for her, because when they were dating, she was there for him when he was going through his family situations. So, you know, he kind of like just wanted to move past this whole social media situation, because I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think, you know, that's going to be KylerB's long-term situation, to be honest. So I mean, we're just keeping 100%. Connor, he basically still on the whole trying to apologize to JaNa. JaNa doesn't really care for him at all, you know, trying to apologize, trying to like speak to her. I mean, they did, you know, she did show up to Kendall's, you know, birthday party situation, so he, you know, encouraged by Aaron, you know, was told to like go speak to her, apologize face to face. You know, he did apologize face to face, but she's just like, yeah, can you just give me my boundaries? Like, you know, he apologized. She's like, yeah, all's forgiven, da da da. But she's like, yeah, that's it. Like, you know, she doesn't want no parts with him at all. Moving on, we're getting to JaNa and Kenny's 9-month anniversary date. So they're, you know, on a day, basically like, you know, happy 9 months, da da da. So I guess JaNa brought up the whole situation of like, you know, is it really 9 months? Is it 10 months? So she kind of brought up like the whole, you know, during Castle Moore, he brought back another girl and da da da. And it's just like, all right, we're 10 months down the line, 9 months, whatever. Why are we still bringing that up? But no shade, no tea. I mean, hindsight 2020, okay. And then she was just like, you know, she kind of got over the whole like, you know, separate situation. Like, to be honest, you've been together for 9 months and you couldn't stay a month and some change with your girlfriend who you already live a long distance with. Like, you don't live in the same city as your girlfriend or whatever. So I'm just like, you're doing a show for a month and some change. You couldn't share a same apartment. Like, you shared a villa. You shared a same bed with her when you were in the villa. Like, you can't share an apartment with your girlfriend of 9 months or 8 months at that time. Like, it's kind of getting weird. Like, everybody, you know, doing what they're doing. So he brought up the fact that he spoke to Miguel about the relationship and said, like, you know, they're both wanting their, you know, their like separate space. So she's like, that's not true. I did not want my separate space. I wanted to stay in the same room as you. And she's like, I called Leah and I was crying about the situation. Like, she was very much heartbroken that, like, he said no to having this, a same apartment. So she's just like, no, why are you telling Miguel, like, our friends, that, like, oh, we want separate situations, when that's not true? So he's just like, you know, quiet. He's got quiet about that situation, because she's just like, yeah, no, I'm kind of over this dinner. Because just like, you know, you're telling our friends false information, because that is not true. And she's like, you know, when I call Leah, you know, she knew how upset I was about the situation, and I think Miguel was right there with her when I was calling her. So it's just like, you know, why are you lying to our friends about the situation? You wanted to live separately. And then also this whole dog situation, I guess he wanted to do the adoption of the dog or whatever. And he's kind of putting it on JaNa, like, oh, JaNa wanted to have this foster dog just to see if she had kids, or that they can raise kids together. But just like, you know, it's kind of giving rocky. So he like kind of got quiet. She was over the whole situation. It was just like, yeah. She basically like brought up the fact, like, you know, when they kind of like have arguments, he kind of gets quiet and doesn't say anything for a while, whatever. So she kind of gets used to it. And I guess, I mean, she talked about her relationship with him is like, you know, banter, which I kind of saw that, like, you know, they'll have like these kind of banter situations, but there's banter and there's like, you know, being disrespectful. So I'm just like, you know, you can banter, but then there's a point where it comes, the banter becomes disrespectful, especially in a relationship. So it's kind of like, you know, like, what do we go from here? But yeah, the 9-month anniversary dinner did not end well, and it's kind of giving like, you know, this was him setting up for him to probably break up with her after the whole show ended. So everything that transpired outside of this show, you know, transpired on the real timeline about what happened, is giving, if she never found out through his messages about what was going on, is giving after these episodes aired, he would have probably broke up after a 1-year anniversary. That's what is giving that Kenny would have done, because like sometimes it just feels like he doesn't have any remorse, like he really don't care. Like, I mean, the only time we saw him actually cried was in the villa. And I'm like, was that even real? Like, was he really truthful about really wanting to be with JaNa? Like, I don't know what's tea, because he was crying, boohoo crying about her leaving the villa. Like, she could have like left this whole situation, left the villa, you know, been free. But he cried, wanted her back, tried to get her back, and then it's like kind of seemed like this whole situation was a facade from the get-go. And it's like, you know, where do we go from here? So I kind of feel it's like so sad how this is really transpired for her. But you know what? She is definitely, you know, good. She's recovering. You know, she went back to Hawaii with her family. You know, she's basically just like having some time to herself to basically recuperate. Because, I mean, a whole year of your life to a person that she wanted to get married to have kids with. Basically, you went to church together. Like, even though you guys were, you know, separate, the times you did spend together, you guys were actually building life, looking for houses together, all that. And it's just like, oh, he was playing in your face the entire time. It's crazy. So she's definitely, you know, having surrounding of her family right now, and like just going back to, you know, her home, because, you know, obviously this probably takes a toll, because it's just like, it's not like, oh, a little 1-month situation. Like, KylerB was with Aaron for maybe the time of, you know, Love Island, and then a little bit, and then they broke up. And she's still like, you know, Aaron changed her. JaNa's been with Kenny for almost a year, and, you know, like, you gotta understand how that took for a mental. Like, KylerB only been with Aaron for the duration of the show, and maybe a week or two afterwards until the reunion, and they broke up at the reunion and never got back together. So JaNa, like, and she's like, you know, Aaron changed her. So to see this for JaNa is like very sad. But it's definitely, this episode is giving, like, you know, this is your 9-month anniversary, and this is how you're acting, and this is how it's, you know, occurred. Like, you end the night upset with each other. Like, it's kind of crazy work. Like, it's really crazy work. You know, Serena, she basically, like, obviously does not, you know, mesh well with Kendall, so she didn't show up to his birthday party situation. So there's that little tidbit. But I mean, everybody has who they like in this show and who they don't like. So JaNa didn't like Connor, Serena didn't like Kendall, and that's obviously shown in this episode. She was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be no 30-year-old. So, like, you know, everybody got who they like and who they don't like. You know, you just gotta, like, you know, put up appearances. But episode 5 will be on the villa, and if you guys like the video, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, comments, concerns, and subscribe to my channel, subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Peace.